Welcome to the Real Estate Jam session. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I've taken 3 questions from some of our subscribers that are all geared towards becoming a commercial real estate agent. And so I think this is going to be very interesting for those of you who are thinking about getting into the business. And so make sure you check out the video, and while you're there, make sure you give us a like. This is one that I get asked a lot, and we hear it a lot when we're out recruiting, and people that maybe are thinking about transitioning into commercial real estate. And finding the asset class that's right for you depends on your passion. If you love being on the phones and you want to be a cold caller, then investment sales can be a great way to go. But if you're somebody that's more boots on the ground, getting in front of people, you have a great sphere of influence, then office and retail can be really good. But there's a lot. I'm going to go into the next question of how you can really decide what's good for you. So make sure you check out the next question. All right, this one's a doozy. How do I grow my business? Because there's a lot of detail in this. So I'm just going to kind of go over what we tell our agents. As many of you know that watch this channel regularly, I'm a partner in Commercial Brokers International in Los Angeles. And this is what we tell them. So I'm going to kind of give you the highlights of it, I guess. Otherwise, we'll be here for a 30-minute video. Number 1 is know your competition. And this is for all levels. If you're a new agent or if you're an agent that's been in the business a while, you need to really set back and take a look at, who is your competition and what are they doing? How many other commercial brokers are in your market? That's very critical. And make sure you know your market better than anybody else. If you're in investment sales, you want to know how many properties are on the market, how long they've been on the market, what has been sold the last 60, 90 days. So when you're cold calling, it really gives you something to talk about because, every cold call, you're just building this relationship. And we all want to talk to somebody that's bringing value to us. If anybody's just calling me and asking me if I'm selling the property, no, I'm not interested. I want somebody that's going to bring me value. So make sure you know your marketplace better than anybody else. So in that bringing value is the key. You have to bring value. Now, many of you folks that aren't on all the social networks, don't log off right now because it is key. It is key. During the pandemic, we see that everybody jumped on and they were marketing their properties as well as their businesses, and it's working. It's proving. I was at the Commercial Real Estate Influencer Summit in Tahoe or in October of last year. The number of people that were there was astonishing. All commercial real estate agents from all around the country, and average age was well into their 40s, and they were Instagram, even on TikTok. Some of these people are on TikTok and just knocking it out of the park. But what's key to being on these is doing it regularly. You need to have consistency. Make sure you're doing a few posts a week and make sure they all look the same. So when I look at any of your social networks, if it's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, I want to make sure that, I know the market that you're working in and what you do there. So if you're multifamily, make sure you're putting stats about multifamily and the location you're doing it in. So make sure it's very critical. Make sure your branding is on point and very consistent with each one of them. Now, for cold calling is you want to make sure for all asset classes you're doing plenty of cold calling every day. Now, I hated cold calling, but I was forced to do it because when I got started, they didn't have the internet. So, cold calling is very key for what you're building your business. Warm calling, sphere of influence, friends, family, church, synagogue, college alumni, high school alumni, wherever you can get contacts that already know you, make sure you're getting them into your CRM and make sure they're getting an email at least every 2 weeks. Make sure everybody's getting an email every 2 weeks. And this is not just in your sphere of influence. Everybody should be getting emails from you every 2 weeks. And after you do those emails, again, make sure you look at your KPIs. How many people clicked on it, how many people clicked through, and what worked best for you. Make sure you're always analyzing your data. Same with your social. Go in and see what posts are working best for you, and then just keep going with those type posts. That'll really drive people to interact with your socials. So now cold calling, warm calling, sphere of influence, very key. Now, if you're in retail, this is something a lot of retail people don't do, retail agents don't do, and that's what's called a block program. So the way it really works is if you've got, you're new to the industry, you want to go out and get started, you're going to want to pick out like 3 blocks. And you're going to walk into each one of those retail locations, introduce yourself, get to know the manager, and make sure you have a leave behind, something that is key to them, that brings value to them in that marketplace. Maybe something that's coming up in the community, or a new tenant that's moving in around the corner from them. Make sure you bring value, and make sure you do that about every 2 weeks. Walk in, reintroduce yourself. They will eventually get to know you. And once you walk in and they know who you are, make sure you take on the next 3 blocks, and then the next 3 blocks. Just keep getting to adding on as you're going. But what this is going to do is not just bring you value to those tenants, but also to the landlords, because one of those managers can say, yeah, we're thinking about relocating, so you're going to pick up that tenant, but you're going to be able to call landlords in that area and say, hey, the tenant's moving out. Are you looking for a new tenant? Or are you thinking about leasing a space? It gives you a reason to call the landlords as well. So those are some great tips to really get you started in this business, to help you really grow your business. But you have to remember, always ask for the business. Make sure everybody knows what you're doing in the market that you're doing it. So very key to growing your business. All right, the final question is, how long will it take me to make money? That depends on you. This is a great business, and if you put all the effort into it that your mentor or your company is telling you to do, you're going to make money a lot faster. If you take everything that they're telling you to do and do half of it, it's going to take you longer. But industry norm, I guess, is about a year. Some people even say 2 years. But our agents at our company have only been about, I think it's been a little over 6 months. Now, that first deal was not a big deal. It wasn't enough to write home about, but it was a transaction that was counted. And so it really depends on you and what you're willing to do. If you're going to show up at the office every day, 8:30 to 5:30, do the cold calling, the emails, the social networks, everything, then it's going to go a lot faster. But there's no magic number. It depends on you, your passion for the industry. But just know that this industry is a hard industry to get started in. But if you do everything that your coach, mentor, or company is telling you to do, you can make money a lot faster.